Hi, this is Xerxes K, so welcome to my room, which is a little portion of my life.
In this atmosphere, far away.
I have always believed that every artist has his own unique way of creating. And that's what makes music so powerful. So I decided to start documenting it. In this video, I'm featuring Xerxes K, a producer, singer, songwriter, topliner, and overall a creative artist. Someone who doesn't just make music, but builds his identity around his sounds. His journey already speaks for itself, supported by names like Above and Beyond, Andrew Rayel, Ali and Fila, and releases on labels like Sakura, AVA, Black Hole Recordings, and more. With over 500,000 Spotify streams, he's constantly collaborating with artists across the world in genres like techno, house, R&B, and pop. But beyond all of that, what really matters is how he does it. So in this episode, we're gonna dive inside his creative process, his mindset, and little bit of his life behind the sounds. If you're a musician or someone who just loves music, then you're definitely gonna take something from it. So let's begin.
Forgive me for my other side. I know I can get too bitter sometimes.
So we are here with Xerxes, aka Khashayar, one of my friends. And today we just want to meet with him and understand his work process. He can share with us his experience, what keeps him going into music industry. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. It is a pleasure to be here, and I
Thanks
hope we
for
all
coming.
gonna have some good time and sharing some good knowledge together.
Yeah, so let us know a little bit about yourself. A lot of audience might want to know what you've been through, what you do as a musician, what kind of music you work, just to get to know you a little bit better.
It's always one of those questions that confuses me about where to begin, because it's of course a lot of things to mention. But long story short, I began working not in music industry, but working on pieces of music in general in my life since, let's say I was 10,
Wow.
by taking some very simple keyboard classes. And by the time that I began to play melodies that I was just hearing in my mind without having any knowledge about which keys are going to sound like what, that was when me and of course my parents realized, all right, something might be going on in there musically in this head. So
Right.
let's expand it to different sections. So of course I continued to learning more about how to play keyboard, but I don't know why. At some point I stopped. So hence why I'm not a very good keyboard player at all. I'm just good at the studio, playing around with it, the trial and errors and fixing it in the DAW.
Well-
But if I play live, no, it's not
Right.
to that level at all.
Well, I think a lot of musicians these days, they don't necessarily need to have full knowledge of an instrument, but as much as like they know music theory or they can work around with some instrument, they can bring some melodies to life.
That's true.
I think that's what a lot of musicians do these days.
As far as I'm concerned, that's also what I've heard from so many legends. And
Right.
of course, knowing the theory could be helpful, but not knowing it doesn't necessarily mean you cannot be a musician. It's like I've heard it a lot from different artists that say, imagine someone who's good at painting. They don't know which color combination would turn into some color that they want, but they
Right.
just by instinct know what they want, and it happens. And again, when you look at their stuff, it sounds like the best artist in the world painted that, but they had no idea about the theory, why the combination of these colors worked so good together. They just did it and it worked.
Right.
So for the music, it's the same. Sometimes theory is not necessary, but you know this type of percussion with that kind of piano or guitar is going to sound really good, and you just do it.
Nice. And yeah, it's nice you mentioned that because I'm always wondering how someone comes up with an idea. For me, like I love music. When I want to create something, I have a certain way to start a project. But then I realized it's a lot different for different people, and you know, everyone gets
Everybody
inspired
has their own way.
differently. But
Yes.
like, what helps you? What gives you better start?
To be honest, it's not always the same thing. Sometimes,
Right.
for example, if I come up to a new synth and I'm just messing around with different presets, I'll come to a sound that inspires me. That sound, for example, it's a pad. And then while I'm playing with that pad, I hear the other elements in the back of my head.
Right.
I'm like, okay, let's put these pad right now on the midis over here. So while the pad is being played, I'm like, okay, now I want some drums. So see, this time I began with a pad only.
Right.
Sometimes I'm like, I have an idea melodically, I have vocal melody in my mind. And I put some words on it, and I'm like, all right, that's going to be my chorus. So what I'm hearing in the back of it, and I try to bring what I'm hearing in my head to the DAW. But the first step was the melody of the vocals.
Right.
Some of the time it could be just just a couple of drums playing together, and I'm just jamming to it, and I come up with something. It depends on luck. It depends on mood.
Right.
It depends on a lot of factors, but that's how it works for me.
And you also do vocal, right? You do
Yes.
a lot of your tracks I can hear, and I know for a fact that you use a lot of vocals, and
Yes,
that's like the center attention of your tracks because you're good at that, right? You also
Thank
have
you.
a really good voice.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll try my best.
Yeah.
Vocals
Please
and
do.
basically writing melodies and lyrics after the whole, learning playing keyboard and all, which I've never learned properly, only as much as I know. But writing lyrics and melody was the opening gate to actually making songs.
Yeah.
It was ever since then that I was first writing melodies and lyrics for other artists. And after a while, when I began to have more demands, more clients, let's say at some point, I was like, all right, maybe it's time to also write for myself. So I began to also write melodies and lyrics for myself. And most of them were top lines. And what I mean by top line is when you have an instrumental and you give it to me, you don't know what you want to do regarding the vocals with it. But me, as a top liner, will add the idea of the melody and the lyrics, the story behind it, and I'll sing it on top of your instrumental, and we'll give it another approach emotionally or let's say musically. So I began to be a top liner without even knowing what that term meant.
Right.
So
I think I never seen anyone talking about that in my experience.
Yeah.
And I learned it from you. But I think it's also important to have someone to work only on the vocals. And I didn't know you can actually do that.
Well, I didn't know I could until I was like, all right, you're doing it, so can you do it for me too?
Right.
It all happened
So does that
quite
mean,
naturally,
okay,
without any plans.
does that mean someone can come up with a melody and be like, just write something for me and then we can change it later on? Or is it just a solid idea that you give me your track, I'll give you whatever?
That's another way of it. When it comes to writing vocals
Right.
on a track, it's not always, hey, here's an instrumental, you do your vocals on it.
Right.
Sometimes they have the melody, they play it with the piano, they want the words, they either want you to sing on it or they want another vocalist, but they come to you. So it could be as simple as, hey, just come up with a melody and lyrics for this one, and that's all we want. Or it could be, I have this melody, or sometimes you have the melody and they're going to produce something on top of that.
So it's 0 to 100,
Exactly.
whatever is possible. And it's interesting you say, because a lot of times you, as a musician, you don't want to use samples for the vocal and you want to work with people actually. And you end up meeting a lot of people that are interested, but they ask you for money, which is understandable sometimes. Like if like the other person has like a bigger value in market or is actually helping you to grow, or I don't know, a lot of other example. But sometimes it feels like you're ordering your vocal and paying for it rather than it's a collaboration. So when does these two meet in one line that it's a collaboration but paid and both sides are excited to grow the music, because there's a thin line in between production and collaboration and creating music.
Yes.
And or ordering it, which seems like you're on a, website.
You're a piece of a menu and they're choosing you.
Yeah.
To be honest, there is no straight up answer to that. Hey, this is the way, and that's the only way that collaborations are paid, or it's gonna target the benefits of both sides.
Right.
It goes a long way, and basically, it's a game of trial and error. Let's say you're gonna try, you either fail, or I'm gonna turn this back on,
Yeah.
just in case, because the reflection
Very
is gonna be too much.
Okay.
Because yeah, of course, every artist would love to get paid
Right.
for their craft, but on the other hand, there has to be this understanding that artists must come together. This is something that I've been hearing a lot by the more experienced artists back in the time while I was doing more research and watching bigger artists sharing their experiences, and they've been saying that artists should find each other and make collaborations to the way that they complement each other. And to my mind, I was like, that's such a cliche. Come on, say something that I don't know and it doesn't work. I tried with this, with that, and it failed. Yes, to my experience, it failed to a certain point. But by the time that it began to pay off in multiple aspects, you could get collaborations done that you got paid in it. And not only you got paid, but also it served you throughout all the platforms. I'm talking Spotify, YouTube, even social platforms. So, and sometimes it's a collaboration because the concept of collaboration is a little bit misunderstood.
Right.
The moment somebody hears it, they're like kind of guarded against it. Oh, this is a free work. But collaboration can also be a paid work.
Right. So what do you see like a collaboration? How many type of collaboration can exist and based on what?
I would say unpaid collaborations that could completely target both sides' benefits. Hey, I'm a vocalist, you're a producer. Let's share something together. Let's make something together and share it. It benefits both of us.
Right.
It could be a collaboration that is paid, like you need a vocalist, you come to me, you pay me. I need a producer, I come to you and I pay you. And again, the rest of the process, of course, we both get benefits of, which is streams and everything else. We both have a music now. So, or we just go to each other and work because of the experience, because we know we're going to learn through this, and we're at the same level. One key important thing when it comes to collaborations is to do not go to artists that are way in a higher level than you, or even sometimes a bit higher than you. Finding artists that are in the same level that you are might be a challenge. I understand it. It's really time consuming sometimes, and you might feel like you're lowering your own value by reaching out to those artists. But don't forget, they're in the same level. You are in the same level. Those artists are the most people you need to make collaborations with. And trust me, those collaborations will get supported by some bigger artists.
Right.
So now you're not the artist you were yesterday. Now you are on this level and you have to find others in your level again. And this continuously goes on until you become that big artist that you always had in your mind. Now you have to work with the biggest artists in the world.
So it's like going to success or to your goal step by step, one step at a time and growing. So
exactly, which requires a lot of patience. We all don't know if we are patient enough or not. We can only look back in time. We're like, damn, I really was patient.
Yeah, I mean, music and especially electronic music has a lot of impatient people and a lot of people that start to enter this and want to have everything at once. And it's really exciting and I really get it. But usually the truth is it doesn't work your way and you have to go through a lot of stuff before you make it. But one of them being like releasing music, sharing music with the world, which
Absolutely.
is not an easy job to do. A lot of DJs just start for the sake of playing, but then they realize they have to go through creating music, which is another story. And a lot of them fail, a lot of them try to learn it. And that's going to take a lot of time. But what do you suggest, what worked for you as an artist to be able to release so much and work with the labels that you want? Or slowly build up your image?
Well, I hope it worked for me.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say is, I mean, I didn't have any choice. I had to lower my expectations. And that thing that you just mentioned for not just DJs, but all sorts of artists, I would say, the expectation of quick results. I realized that, all right, I have to give up on demanding quick results. And that automatically gave me more patience to make more music.
Right.
And for me personally, I'm coming from the background of being a producer and a vocalist, and after that being a DJ. But of course, not all DJ follow the same process. They might be a DJ in the first place, and later they realize, all right, I think I'm gonna have to release more originals, play more originals. That's a whole other approach. And it's not about which one you take, it's about which one you're more comfortable with. And with whatever you began, you can end up differently. For me personally, it was everything began to happen better. Everything began to get better and go more fluent by the time that I began to work with more artists. That had a huge impact. So many of those projects that we worked together were paid projects. And of course, in each contract, it comes with different royalties dedicated to whoever's
And you
involved.
paid or they paid?
They paid.
Okay.
Because, for example, they needed a vocalist or a producer, so they come to me. We come to an agreement, and after completely setting up the contract, okay, 20% royalties, 50-50 royalties. That's between the two artists, and if a label is involved, of course, the label also defines that. But working with so many different artists was the key for me. It helped me to grow my audience on Instagram. It helps me to increase my streams on Spotify. It helped me to be recognized by more artists. And those collaborations were the biggest help. And of course, the biggest supports that I've received to this day by legends were thanks to those collaborations that I've made with other artists from around the world.
Right.
So that's a key factor when it comes to being a musician, to put the ego down. Even if you can do everything yourself, still go look around, see who can possibly work with. Go to online platforms, and even if you have to find someone that is kind of representing your niche, message them, see if they're down to do any sorts of collaboration with you, come to an agreement and get the work done.
Right.
That helps. That's what helped me, and that's what I recommend.
And how do you think that collaboration will be based on? Like, let's say you guys are in different countries, you can only talk online, and how does that gonna work in making a track together, and how would it be? Because you know, a lot of times you have to agree on certain part of the track to be done by you or them. How do you do that?
Trust me, we're living in 21st century. Technology is helping that a lot.
Yeah.
Most of these collaborations that I've done, we had something near 11 to 12 hours time difference between me and the other artist that was involved. So yeah, some part of it could be challenging. If we had to, sometimes we come up with a certain time, we both get online, go on a phone call or video call or something. We share screens, and we're in the same studio. Thanks to technology, we can do that. Some other time it's messages.
But do you really work on one track at the same time, or you send the project and they add to it and send you back?
Basically, that depends. If it's a production, if it's producing a music for a singer, well, I usually make a certain portion of the track, if not the entire arrangement. I send it to them as a demo, and I wait for the response. Do they like it? Do they not like it? Is there any specific thing they want to change or not? Doing edits and revisions in any sorts of music collaboration is something that so many artists don't like to do, or they want to charge a fee for revisions.
Right.
I'm not saying don't do that, but at least leave some space for a couple of revisions to do it for free, because it's music. We're making music.
And do you agree on that?
It worked for me, and I know a lot of different artists that have done it the same way, but some people just don't like it. As soon as you say, hey, I want the kick to be different and sound more like this or that, and they were like, hey, I spent too much time mixing that, so pay me a certain fee so I can only change the kick or change this part of the track. It makes sense. You're putting your time in there, but we're talking as an upcoming artist, as an artist who's still trying to expand their things. So money is not your only asset. Your time is also your asset. So spend it on your growth.
Right.
The fact that you, in the end, you make a good piece of music with another artist like yourself, and you leave a good memory and experience of creating an art is a lot more valuable than that $10 you're going to charge for just a simple revision.
Right. Yeah. And it's gonna last forever, and you're gonna.
Exactly. It's going to be a long-lasting relationship. They're going to refer you to the different artists. You're going to refer them. It just continuously.
It takes two. You say that a lot when you're wrong. But I had enough of us both. We have.
But do you think collaboration with artists helps in the organic way of marketing, or does that only help in artist's journey? Like marketing the music, I mean.
Well, I can say in the journey of one artist, 100% it helps. Because the least thing you get out of it is experience. So, of course, that's for the artist, it works. But marketing wise, again, you got to try. It either fails or leads
Right.
to success. You should know. And you would never know before you try.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of time it depends on the.
There is no guarantee.
Yeah,
No.
like the artists who have a good portfolio and the music is constantly like getting the streams, that's gonna help in some ways or another. But sometimes you just have to do it manually. Like you have to put a lot of time in marketing the
Exactly.
music as well.
Which is a lot time consuming and frustrating. And I completely understand and agree with it. I have to still do it. And
Do you think music is a one-person journey or is it like a group? Because as someone who is a musician, you have to do a lot of work. Seems like it's not like you need to prove yourself as a good musician these days, but you need to know how to introduce yourself and how to do videos, how to market your music, how to present yourself at different locations, you know?
yeah,
And what do you think about that?
I'm all teamwork. I'm on that side. And it's a privilege. A privilege that, of course, not everybody has.
Yeah.
So I would
That's
say if you have the privilege to do any sorts of teamwork in music, go for it. Put that ego down, that you want to do it all by yourself, relying on yourself. We all need each other.
Right.
We might not even know. So I'm all about teamwork, but I also understand that some people might not have the privilege of having a friend to, like you, for example, doing these videos and everything. You helped me a lot. Some people might not have that privilege. Or if they want to have someone to get something done for them, for example, to send their music for mixing and mastering to someone, they have to pay for it, but they don't have the budget. That's understandable. You have to all of a sudden you realize the only option you have is if to do it yourself.
Right.
So now you have to go through a whole learning curve, which takes a lot of time, and it might not even be what you want to do, but you have to do it. So if you have the option to go for a teamwork, go for it. If not, learning it yourself and doing it yourself, there's no shame in it. Go for it, of course. It might slow you down a little, but it is worth it in the end.
I just want to ask you about the challenges of everyday working in this industry.
Don't
which
ask me
is
that.
I understand
Don't
it's
remind me.
a lot of work because a lot of people would think the day they decide to be musicians, like they become free and they're like not doing 9 to 5 job and they're gonna do music and they're gonna make it. But when they enter, it's fun in the beginning, but then they realize they're working 24 hours now. And
That's true, yes.
nobody even noticed them a lot of time. So what is your challenges? I know you are from Iran. I'm also from Iran. And I'm familiar with the challenges we had for us to be able to create. But tell me a little bit about your experience in Iran and as someone who's immigrated. And how do you manage your life to spend time mostly on music?
Well, let me just explain by the same order you asked. the challenges in Iran were countless.
Right.
Because, and I highly doubt if everybody outside of Iran are aware of it, because every time that I explain it to some people, they don't seem to be actually believing it. It's like, it's impossible. It can't be, but it is. And the limitations were a lot.
Can you, give me an example?
An example, for example, you have to have a license to be able to even release a track. If you want to legally release a track in your own country within the platforms that are not banned or filtered or anything else.
So you need to go through government official, right?
Exactly. And
Well, I actually know that, but I'm just trying to ask him for the audience.
And that's only if you want to, if you want to promote yourself as an artist who's going to grow and work inside the country. For example, if you want to later throw concerts and invite people to your concerts and literally work in that area. So you need a license. There are countless artists in Iran who are releasing music on global platforms and they don't need, they're doing it without any licenses. Yes, but are they allowed officially to be able to throw a concert or any sort of festival or live performances inside the country? No, they're not. So by the time that they're even allowed, they need to make sure that each song that they're going to play is also allowed to be performed live. So that's a whole challenge.
Every song needs a license, and every activity.
I'm not sure about that, but I know for those who release official albums, they're going to have to get licenses for their albums, and each song, each word of the lyrics must be reviewed by that exact organization. And if they say, for example, you said I love you here, but it doesn't make sense, you got to change it, you have to change it. Otherwise, there would be no license for that track.
Right.
So,
but I think their reason is not artistic. The reason is more like for another type of thinking that they have, like we would like that song because it represents something that we like, or we don't like it because it doesn't represent something we like.
It doesn't represent their value. Not your artistic values. Yeah.
Right. So,
and that's just one, sorry for interrupting you, but that's just one challenge. And now we go, well, I began to work with other artists globally, and if it comes to any sorts of payment situation, the payment was also a challenge because the banks were under sanction, so you couldn't give them any banks that are internationally connected to the other banks. That was another challenge. Or if they wanted to ask you, hey, can you join me for this exact track so we can perform it live together? You couldn't because of the whole visa processing, all because of where you come from.
Right.
So they look at you completely differently. But by they, I mean the governments that you can go to.
But not only that, maybe the person is from a country they don't want you to sing with. So do you have to go through licensing that? Because this part I don't know. Like you work with someone from a country that they don't want you to work with. So what's going to happen? Like you need a license for that track and you need the license for collaboration.
That's not a limitation. As long as it's happening within your own studio and you keep it even on the global platforms, that's okay. But if you want to get a license to perform it live inside the country, they must still review that and give you the thumbs up or thumbs down.
Right.
So I never tried it. I never went to that direction because I found it pretty time consuming and I was extremely hopeless about it. And I wanted the global audience more than local.
Right.
That's why I spent most of my time also on non-Persian music.
From what I know, a lot of artists in Iran, their focus is on pop culture, pop music, and hip hop, and also rock to some extent. But for example, techno is something that's peaking in Iran after a few years. Like it's been underground going.
Yeah.
But for your genre, how did you come across it, and how did you find your audience there, and why is it that you prefer global audience?
Well, I didn't find my audience in there. I mean, there was a time that I had a couple of releases in Persian music, they were pop.
Right.
But they were in the genre that I wanted to actually work in, which is like organic house, melodic house, anything like house music, let's say, as a whole category. Don't get me wrong, I loved making those music. I still do. Sometimes I miss making some 80s style pop music. So I probably would in the future. But I couldn't find my audience in there. And those Persian releases that I've had, yeah, they had really good feedbacks. Everybody loved it except or expect.
Except.
Everybody loved it except myself. I loved them, but not as much as I loved the music that I completely make with my own heart, let's say. And then I realized if I reach out to an international audience, not only I'm making what I like, but also I have a lot more chance of finding the audience that is actually into that kind of music. So unfortunately in Iran I couldn't find it. But like you said, the foundations are so ready, not just for any subcategory of house music, but taken in all different directions, even psychedelic music,
Right.
the whole club scene style is so ready, and the only reason we're not seeing it so far is it's obvious because it's not allowed.
Right.
But as soon as it's allowed, I think it's gonna make a huge noise.
But you've been in Iran a lot later than I've been. And how's the music scene and underground music? And we know there's no clubbing in
Yeah.
Iran, but how's the underground music and what have you seen that I, for example, haven't seen?
Well, to be honest, since I never looked for it, I don't have much information to say. So anything I say might be just a bunch of rumors or words that I've heard from other people. But
Right.
it happens in a private way. So you can't announce it publicly. You just say it to a couple of friends, and those friends say it to a bunch of other friends, and you gather around a group of people. No music festival, nothing, but imagine a villa, and you have a bunch of your friends, like let's say 50 or 100 of your friends dancing to the music that is being played in there. It's like a party, but with the kind of music that you want to have in a club being played.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know much about it. I know a lot of different venues, restaurants, and basically coffee shops, which were more restricted, are now more open and welcoming to that kind of music. They're playing it out loud, and people are jamming to it, and you might not even believe it. Oh my God, is this where I come from? Because a couple years ago, it wasn't like this, but it's getting better.
Yeah.
And
Which is, to me, is really unfortunate to think about it like that, because it's just the music and people having fun, and it's really ridiculous to know that for such a thing that you need to wait, you need to wait for things to change and all of that. But apart from that, I think what stands out mostly because of that conservative act is hardcore music. Like you see the music that comes out of it in this situation is hard techno, which
yeah.
is like, yeah, they're doing it private, they go underground, they want to show everything. So now the music cannot be soft, and I think
That's a perspective that I didn't think of,
Yeah.
but it makes sense.
it makes sense if you think about it. Like,
You're right.
if it comes from that, they want to experience the extent that never they experience, so they go for that something, which is also my favorite. And but it's nice to know like how a genre is chosen. Like, this is from my observation. But yeah,
No, that's true. That exists too. Like I said, I never tried to dig in and see exactly how things are happening. So I only have, as far as I know, knowledge as far as I know. So basically, but yeah, that exists, and there are a lot of different other ways exist, which I don't know if I should mention it here or not, but they're doing it in higher levels than you can even imagine in the most free countries. It's just happening underground.
yeah,
But it's crazy. Like, you lose your mind as soon as you see it, and you know it, of
Damn.
course. Even through, and it gets more. I'm pretty sure even by the time that we're talking about this right now, it's even more than the time that I left the country.
oh yeah, yeah,
crazy stuff
Yeah,
are happening.
everybody looking for a way or a place to escape.
It's
Escape
happening,
reality.
but it's happening. It's happening.
Okay, yeah. So I really like to dig into your music and what you like to play or produce. Maybe show us
Yeah,
a
of
trick
course.
or more. So
Let's open up a random project, maybe not too random, but something that is worth talking about.
You see the cinema over here? Every time that I just want to watch a movie and somewhere different, I don't come here. I don't know why. I still watch it at home. Just meant to say that. So, this is the most important part of the day, to take the trash out. I mean, at least in the first stages of being an artist, you have to do it yourself. Can't find Rayel. See that football pitch over there is where meditation happens. Almost every Wednesday, we come and play football with really amazing guys. The main thing that keeps me, I don't know how to describe it exactly, but it works just like meditation. After playing football for an hour or an hour and a half, everything becomes okay. Hey, you got 10,000 problems. It's all right, you got it. I don't know why, it feels like everything just got off your shoulders after that. So that whole pitch is very important to me. Now, this area is called Town Square. It's actually one of the most, I don't know how to describe it exactly, but it's a brand new community. And we found it, of course, thanks to friends and my wife, of course. And the moment we saw it and we just walked around it a little, we were instantly in love with it because it has everything you need, and the atmosphere is extremely family friendly, and also just warm. There are a lot of things, and it gets even better at night. It's where ideas come up, especially that beauty over there. We need one of us in the house. You
All
do
the
play
time.
Mortal Kombat, or you just play more?
not on this.
Put that camera
But
away and
sometimes.
get back here. Name your character if you actually are a Mortal Kombat player. Who is your character? Say the name.
Sub-Zero.
Typical, but I get it. Total lyrics block happening sometimes, which is not often, but if the brain goes completely blind for lyrics and anything else, this is the area that I come. Ordering a simple coffee, nothing complicated. And that automatically gives me more ideas. It's like a whole new world of vocabulary all of a sudden opens up, and words just come in and help a lot when it comes to coming up with lyrics, especially when I'm stuck at it. So that's the thing that helps. Cheers.
Do not underestimate the power of naming your projects properly, please, because you don't want to end up like me with a folder that is called Random Deep, Junkies. I don't know, some of them are named properly, but some of them aren't. Like, what is Xerxes K melodic? You make melodic music. What do you mean melodic? So you have to open it. Hopefully, if you have any exports, you gotta go to that export that you have, listen to it, and then you realize which project this one was. So name it properly, you won't regret it. Thank you. FL key 37, of course, because of the space that I had to go with 37 version. And it's actually really nice. The keys have really nice feelings to them, and it's completely compatible with FL Studio. I very rarely use any of these knobs or the pads here, or even these buttons to set up any settings. But overall, it's something that wouldn't let you down, especially if you're working with FL Studio. So go for this one. SSL2 Plus, very popular between so many producers, very budget friendly, and also covers up all the needs you have. You can connect 2 headphones, a pair of speakers to it, and 2 channels for any source of recordings you have, which one of them is completely connected to this mic, which is a daily use. Rode NT1A. I had this mic for I don't know how long, but let's say so many years, because still to this day, I love the way it sounds, and I also got the hang of it. So that scroll function of this mouse that I was talking about, which is very handy, especially on your channel racks here, if you want to change the order of the effects you have. For example, if you have an EQ and a reverb and you want to just swap the place, you can easily with just a simple scroll like that. And that's
Yeah.
something that I had to struggle with so many different mouses out there, but this one is doing the job. Okay, this is one of my not most recent releases. It was released, I guess, yes, a year ago, but still to this day has a special place in my heart. It was released on Sakura. It's called In This Atmosphere. And I'm trying to find out an interesting part, let's say maybe throughout the drop. The idea behind this track came from basically exactly the melody of the melody that you hear throughout the drop. So I had to come up with a sound that I was hearing closely to that. So if I could find it here. خوبه؟ یا بیشتر؟ So the idea behind this track, if I remember correctly, was the melody that you hear throughout the drop, which was the da 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 da, and I wanted to come up with a sound that sounds as close as possible to that. I'm talking about this one. Nothing fancy. You see, it's not even a huge, complicated chords playing, just two notes. I don't know why this one randomly is longer, but it didn't hurt. So if I find it here, oh, and it's a combination of two sounds. So if I play them one by one, it's not a two sound, sorry. It's just more channel racks dedicated to one sound. But the sound in the first place, without any source of processing, sounded like this. And of course, by going through a different way of mixing it and processing, we ended up with something that is more tamed and sitting more well with the other elements throughout the track, because there were a lot of unnecessary frequencies that were happening in that song, which when it comes to making music, less is more. That is true. And it's a matter of placements of the sounds, which I think is being pretty much denied a lot through so many tracks. But of course, throughout the good ones, you can obviously hear it. There's nothing complicated or fancy is happening in the background, but everything is in their own place. So just stick to simplicity and go complicated only if it's necessary.
When is it necessary to complicate things? Because
if it's the basic idea you have, sometimes making it complicated could be a way of show off, could be a way of showing your skills, but that's not necessarily what you want to do in each track. So have a plan. If you're making this track necessarily to just specifically to just show the amount of your skills, yeah, go for it. Go crazy with it and the complications, automations and everything. But if you want to make a song that sounds good to any ears and they just want to listen to it, if you have a reference track, fantastic, your job is easier now because you can compare it. If not, make a song not show off your talent and skills and your knowledge. So it is a combination of multiple sounds. I just found another one. That's the same melody, and here's another one. So they go and complement each other.
so you have the low and high frequency.
Exactly, because sometimes you might need you might have a certain reason of the other higher frequency. And this one, if you play it unprocessed, but it's too harsh right now at this point. Taming it down a little bit would just complement the other sound in the back.
Does this help with the sounds being stereo?
100%. That's actually a very good point you mentioned, because sometimes if you might find your sound being too narrow, and by trying to widening it, it might sound a little bit weird, out of phase, some other issues might pop up. But by adding a different sound that will cover up exactly this stereo channel and keeping the same texture and color, you help it to go wider without losing any of its original quality.
But do you have to put the sound more or less on each ear, or do you do it on monophonic?
That depends. Sometimes the smallest panning to the left and right could achieve that thing that you're looking after. Sometimes by putting a widening plugin, like for example, doubler by Waves, or what's the other one called? Microshift by Sound Toys. These plugins, their job is to spread the sound to a stereo channel. Doesn't always work, but when it works, it's going to work beautifully. So it depends. That's why I emphasize on knowing what you want to achieve, then how you want to achieve that, because it makes a huge impact.
Right.
If you want stereo channels, all right. By panning, you might reach that. Just a simple pan. You don't have to put a plugin that makes everything stereo, or even the smallest delay.
Okay.
And then there is. I'm trying to look for other elements. Here's the bass. Surprise, surprise. It's an arpeggio that is playing, but I used it as a bass. So you don't have to always stuck to the idea of bass must be bass. It's an arpeggio, but it's acting as bass.
That's a good point.
This is unprocessed. Processed. And let me see what other, and of course drums here. Some of the percussions. Claps. Kick, yay. You might not even hear this sound in the background, but it's doing its job. Where is it exactly? It's here. You see how the volume is almost completely killed. But in the track, you barely hear it. And if I increase it, you don't need that. But in the back, it is doing its job. It's filling the space that could be felt, but couldn't be heard.
Yeah, that's way more important, because a lot of music needs to be discovered. Like maybe you feel it, but the more time you listen, you realize, oh, there's
Sorry,
this...
I was...
No, this is my personal experience. A lot of time I listen to one song and I'm like, the third time and the 10th time I hear it's totally different. Like I can hear new elements, and that's basically like the art of mixing, I think.
Yeah, which you will come through either if you were learning by a really good mentor, or experience will teach you that automatically. I am still to this day making the mistake of putting everything that I'm hearing in my mind. For example, I'm building up the chorus, and I put all the elements that I'm hearing. Oh my God, this sound is going to sound so amazing. All right, now this one. Oh, now I'm hearing this pad, and then there's another arpeggio happening, and you love it. But the first person who listens to it, they might feel like, I think the sounds are competing on top of each other too much. There's so many sounds that are trying to attract my ears and basically to grab my attention. I don't know which one to focus on. You are killing the musicality right there, but you might not be aware of it. So throughout experience, you would learn your own way of how to be musically also accurate with the small choices you make in your project. So for the vocals, I usually have a completely dedicated different projects. So I record everything there. Recording is a whole other project. And then mixing the vocals, again, is a whole other project. Why is it like that? because I found it comfortable that way. Do you have to do it that way? Of course not. Find your own comfort way and do it that way. That's I think, the best and easiest way to get it done. So let's go to the vocal project here. So this is the project for mixing the vocals. Like I said, I have a separate project for recording the vocals, but there was no point in opening that one up here. And basically, here are the vocal layers that we have. Let me just mute the instrumental for so many reasons for now.
In this atmosphere.
This word was the main idea. Can't even talk anymore. The word in this atmosphere was the main idea behind, let's say, the entire lyrics. And based off the atmosphere of the song, I knew what I wanted to say, but I wanted an opening to it. So in this atmosphere, because there were a lot of things happening at the time. I was away from my wife, and it was just recently that I lost my father. And I was in a very good atmosphere, and automatically, I don't know why, I was only thinking about the people that are far away from me or I missed, and I was kind of craving their presence in that in that specific atmosphere. So in this atmosphere was the idea that I wrapped everything around it. So if you want to know how I completed the lyrics entirely, I was like, okay, in this atmosphere. What in this atmosphere? What's happening in this atmosphere? So the rest of the lyrics just came up after that.
In this atmosphere, far away.
I'm going to skip it a bit fast forward, or no?
You know, it's so
From the heart of darkness, too good to be flawless. I can see you right here in this atmosphere.
wow.
Far away.
And of course, when it comes to layering, there is one main line that is,
From the heart of darkness.
let's go to somewhere that we have multiple layers. Like maybe,
Yeah,
Far away.
that's a good example.
Far away.
And again, you don't have to do harmonies and back vocals throughout the entire track, obviously, but this is basically the process behind this one.
Far away.
And then we have, what else do we have here? It's all muted right here.
Far away. Far away. Far away.
Which all of them combined together will end up like this.
Far away, far away, far away, far away. From all sorts of mindsets, too good to be flawless. I wish you were right here in this atmosphere.
Some of the vocals, yes, obviously. Effekter auffe. Harmony auffe, harmony auffe,
Wow,
in auffe.
that was beautiful, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Even
But
with the effects off.
most of the effects were off, and guess what was the reason? CPU usage.
CPU.
Gotta keep usage.
Oh my god.
It was killing the CPU apparently, so I had to
Okay, let's
Make
hear it
them all
with
off.
the effects on now.
with the effects on them now.
Far away,
And this one also.
far away.
Wow.
So yeah, now it sounds a lot more together and glued.
Far away. From all sorts of mindsets, too good to be flawless. I wish you were right here in this atmosphere.
So yeah, that's mainly the idea behind the vocals. And there are some little ear candies here and there, like maybe in the beginning. You see this layer over here? It's just, let me increase the volume for that a little.
Wow.
That's like an introduction to, hey, okay, pay attention, the vocals are coming in. So all together.
In this atmosphere.
But drum.
I don't have the drums only here, because when I mix my vocals, I don't do it within the same project that I produce the track on. Of course, to save more CPU for myself. So right now I have the entire instrumental behind it, but just a quick
in this atmosphere.
And of course, this is a little interesting thing that I don't know back then what was I thinking. Now that I've played it, I just realized that I made that, but it's like basically your music is being played on a tape and then reverse it.
Wow.
So yeah, these are things that would help.
That's really cool, man. Like,
Thanks.
to know even how you made that is also my wondering question. But like, I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know
of
if that's gonna be all in one video. I really enjoyed
We can
listening to this, and what you come up with is beautiful.
we can talk about this for not just hours, for days. But of course, yeah, I would be happy if we could make it a longer one, but
Yeah, for sure.
let's not make it too boring for anyone.
For sure, like there's so much that one can teach and one can learn. But yeah, I think when it comes to vocal, you have a lot of things to share and a lot of processing, which we hope to see.
Absolutely,
well.
it would be a pleasure.
But yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Of course, and thank you so much for having
Thank
me.
you for showing us all your artwork. And
It was actually a lot of fun. I want you to come on. Let's shout out to you and give some credits to you here. I've never found my room. It's been a while that I found my room this serious.
Oh my
and look at all this. Look at everything here. Another camera. One camera here. A fancy light. And fancier than that was just the stand itself, and all the sorts of equipments that are even hitting in the back. So, oh man, I appreciate you too. It was a great joy for me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
And I'll see you on the next one.
The dab didn't work. Let's do it again. Thank you very much.
What you see on the outside with releases, performances, and streams is only a fraction of what actually happens behind the scene. And that's something different for every artist. I create these videos completely on my own, from filming, editing, and shaping the experience you are watching. Please consider subscribing. It really helped me keep building this series and bring more artists into it. And if you have any questions from the artists featured in this video, drop them in the comments below and I will get the answer for you. His music is also linked in the description, so go check it out and I'll see you on the next one.